व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी. Reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Chapter 7, text number 13. Let me share my screen. त्रिभिः गुणमयैः भावैः त्रिभिर्गुणमयैर्भावैर् एभिः सर्वम् इदं जगत् एभिः सर्वम् इदं जगत् मोहितं न अभिजानाति मोहितं नाभिजानाति
मोहितं नाभिजानाति
माम् एभ्यः परम् अव्ययम् मामेभ्यः परम् अव्ययम् त्रिभिर्गुणमयैर्भावैर् एभिः सर्वम् इदं जगत् मोहितं नाभिजानाति मामेभ्यः परमव्ययम् त्रिभिर्गुणमयैर्भावैर् एभिः सर्वम् इदं जगत् मोहितं नाभिजानाति मामेभ्यः परमव्ययम् त्रिभिर्गुणमयैर्भावैर् एभिः सर्वमिदं जगत् मोहितं नाभिजानाति मामेभ्यः परमव्ययम्
त्रिभिर्गुणमयैर्भावैर्
एभिः सर्वं जगत्
एभिः सर्वमिदं जगत्
एभिः सर्वमिदं जगत्
एभिः सर्वमिदं जगत्
मोहितं नाभिजानाति मामेभ्यः परम् अव्ययम्
त्रिभिर्गुणमयैर्भावैर् एभिः सर्वमिदं जगत् मोहितं नाभिजानाति मामेभ्यः परमव्ययम्
त्रिभिर्गुणमयैर्भावैर् एभिः सर्वमिदं जगत् मोहितं नाभिजानाति मामेभ्यः परमव्ययम्
त्रिभिर्गुणमयैर्भावैर् एभिः सर्वम् इदं जगत् मोहितं नाभिजानाति मामेभ्यः परम् अव्ययम्
त्रिभिर्गुणमयैर्भावैर् एभिः सर्वमिदं जगत्
मामेतं नाभिजानाते
मोहितं नाभिजानाति
मामेभ्यः
परमव्ययम् ऑनलाइन.
त्रिभिर्गुणमयैर्भावैर्
त्रिभिर्गुणमयैर्भावैर्
सर्वम इदम जगत
एभि सर्वम idam jagat. I'm not able to hear you, bro. Mohitam nabhijanati mamebhya paramavyayam. Anybody else? Mike. Can you hear me, Bhagavad Tattva Prabhu? I don't know. Translation, synonyms. Tribhihi,
Tribhihi,
three.
three.
Gunamayihi,
Gunamaihi,
by the three gunas.
by the three gunas.
Bhavaihi,
Bhavaihi,
state of being. Sweta is saying it's not able to hear. Voice is not clear. Is it any better, Mataji? Hare Krishna, Mataji, can you hear me? Okay, is it better? Yes, okay, all right. Tribhihi,
Tribhihi,
three.
three.
Gunamaihi,
Gunamaihi,
by the three gunas.
by the three gunas.
Bhavaihi,
Bhavaihi,
state of being.
state of being.
Ebhihi,
Ebhihi,
all this.
all this.
Sarvam,
Sarvam,
the whole world.
the whole world.
Idam,
Idam,
in this world.
in this world.
Jagat,
Jagat,
universe.
universe.
Mohitam,
Mohitam,
deluded.
deluded.
Na abhijanati,
Nabhijanati,
do not know.
do not know.
Mam,
Mam,
unto me.
unto me.
Ebhyaha,
Ebhyaha,
above this.
above these.
Param,
Param,
the supreme.
supreme.
Avyayam,
Avyayam,
inexhaustible.
inexhaustible.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada.
Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Translation: deluded by the three modes, goodness, passion and ignorance, the whole world does not know me, who am above the modes and inexhaustible. Purport by Translation with repetition. Deluded by the three modes,
Deluded by the three modes,
goodness, passion and ignorance,
goodness, passion and ignorance,
the whole world does not know me,
the whole world does not know me,
who am above
who am above
the modes
the modes
and inexhaustible.
and inexhaustible.
Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The whole world is enchanted by the three modes of material nature. Those who are bewildered by these three modes cannot understand that transcendental to this material nature is the Supreme Lord Krishna. In this material world, everyone is under the influence of these three gunas and is thus bewildered. By nature, living entities have particular types of body and particular types of psychic and biological activities accordingly. There are four classes of men functioning in the three material modes of nature. Those who are purely in the mode of goodness are called Brahmanas. Those who are purely in the mode of passion are called Kshatriyas. Those who are in the modes of both passion and ignorance are called Vaishyas. Those who are completely in ignorance are called Sudras. And those who are less than that are animals or animal life. However, these designations are not permanent. I may either be a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya or whatever. In any case, this life is temporary. But although life is temporary and we do not know what we are going to be in the next lives, Still, by the spell of this illusory energy, we consider ourselves in the light of this bodily conception of life. And we thus think that we are American, Indian, Russian, or Brahmana, Hindu, Muslim, etc. And if we become entangled with the modes of material nature, then we forget the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is behind all these modes. So Lord Krishna says that men deluded by these three modes of nature do not understand that behind the material background is the Supreme Godhead. There are many different kinds of living entities, human beings, demigods, animals, etc. And each and every one of them is under the influence of material nature. And all of them have forgotten the transcendental personality of Godhead. Those who are in the modes of passion and ignorance, and even those who are in the modes of goodness, cannot go beyond the impersonal Brahman conception of the Absolute Truth. They are bewildered before the Supreme Lord in His personal feature, which possesses all beauty, opulence, knowledge, strength, fame, and renunciation. When even those who are in goodness cannot understand, what hope is there for those in passion and ignorance? Krishna consciousness is transcendental to all these three modes of material nature, and those who are truly established in Krishna consciousness are actually liberated. Thus ends the wonderful transcendental Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Ajnanatimidandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So we are in the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, which is entitled as Knowledge of the Absolute. Very interesting chapter, and some time back I had given this acronym to remember this chapter. Actually this chapter is very easy, the way it flows. And if you remember just this pen drive made up of HP, and instead of GB it has a memory of MB, then you can actually recollect the whole chapter to someone. Anybody who asks you, can you show me, can you explain me what is chapter 7 Bhagavad Gita? It's very easy to say. So the H stands for hearing about Krishna. The chapter begins when there is no question asked by Arjuna and Krishna speaks, you hear about me. Shrunu me paramam vacha. No, yatha gyasyasi tat shrunu. Yatha gyasyasi tat shrunu. Maya vesya, maya sakta manah partha yogam yunjan madashrayah. Asamsayam samagram mam yatha gyasyasi tat shrunu. So the Lord is about to speak about Himself. Maya sakta manah partha. Your mind should be attached to me. Yogam yunjan madashraya. So Maya sakta manah partha yogam yunjan madashraya. Taking shelter of me. You hear about me, knowing that asamsayam samagram mam. You will know completely without doubt. Asamsayam samagram mam yatha gyasyasi tat shrunu. You hear about me. And then he talks about this important process of hearing. Actually that hearing is a powerful, vital thing amongst all the five senses. How this hearing about transcendental message of the Lord can revive our old memory of who we are, can revive that lost relationship with Krishna. And Krishna with great affirmation is telling, Tat Shrunu. And then he says, Jnanam teham savijnanam idam vakshyami aseshataha yaj gyantva mokshase asubhat yaj gyantva neha bhuyo anyaj gyantabhyam avasishyate. Knowing this, nothing else remains to be known. So it is so powerful. Jnanam teham savijnanam. And this is knowledge with the realization knowledge. Nominal and phenomenal, Prabhupada says. Jnanam and vijnanam. Idam vakshyami aseshataha. I am going to speak about this, and aseshataha is in full. Yajgyatva neha bhuyo anyaj jnatavyam avasishyate. And the third verse, Krishna says, Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhaye yatatam api siddhanam kaschin mam vetti tattvataha. Out of thousands, millions of people, Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhaye. One person is interested, curious, inquisitive to know. Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhaye yatatam api siddhanam. Out of those millions and thousands of people who, that one person who's desirous to know me, out of all those people who are desirous to know me, out of thousands of such, kaschin mam vetti tattvata. Only one person knows me in truth. Not easy to know Krishna. Then Krishna goes on to say how we can perceive him. So P, if you remember, H stands for the hearing. First three verses talk about the power of hearing. P stands for perceiving Krishna. There are verses which are mentioned. Krishna says that all this energy that you are seeing, which people become, they say they are in awe and wow, this energy is so beautiful landscape, so wonderful this waterfall, so beautiful mountain, so beautiful picturesque river, and so nice this thing. Bhumirapo analavayu kham manobuddhirevacha hankara itiyam bhinna prakriti rashtadha. First thing he says that all these things, these five gross elements, they are my external energies. Not just these five gross, three subtle elements, mind, intelligence and false ego. They are my energy. Then he's saying, Aparem itastvanyam prakritim vidhi me param jiva bhutam mahamaho yedam dharayat jagat. There is another energy of mine, which is the marginal potency, that is the jiva sakti. They are superior to this external energy, but however, they control this material world. Jiva bhutam mahavaho yedam dharayat jagat. Besides this inferior energy, there is a superior energy of mind, which are all living entities who are struggling with material nature and are sustaining the universe. So there is one word called struggling with the material nature. So they're trying to control this material world, and in the process they are struggling. This is what Prabhupada says. So this is, he spoke about that you hear, how you can perceive. So you talk about energies. He is classifying these energies. First is external energy. Then there is another energy which controls. This is superior, which controls this inferior material energy. But in the process of controlling, it also struggles. Then comes the four kinds of people who will, the three stands for the three modes of nature. So this is what we are now in the place where we are going to see. So of course, the three, perceiving Krishna, he goes on to say how mattah parataram nanyat kinchid asti dhananjaya mai sarvam idam protam sutre maniganaiva, gives that beautiful example of that necklace. Then rasoham apsu kaunteya, how we can see that the taste of water is Krishna. Prabhasmi sasi surayaha, pranava sarva vedeshu sabdakhe paurusham rishu. How we can perceive Krishna in day-to-day life, that he talks about. And then right now, these two verses that we are going to talk, 13th and 14th, they are talking about the three modes of nature. 4 stands for the 4 kinds of people who will surrender to Krishna, 4 kinds of people who will not surrender. M stands for misplaced surrender, how people surrender to some demigods, some other personalities. And B stands for bewilderment and freedom of jiva by knowledge of Krishna. When you know how you are bewildered, when you understand that, and how you can come out of that, the freedom of it. So HP34MB, actually it's a very interesting acronym. If you remember this, the whole 7th chapter is yours. But right now we are in the 13th verse, and that verse is talking about the 3 modes of nature. There was an introduction done in the last verse, but specifically Krishna is using this verse called Tribhir Gunamair Bhaver. It starts with Tribhir. So that is why that HP 34:3 represents the 3 modes of material nature. Tribhir Gunamair Bhaver Ebhi Sarvam Idam Jagat Mohitam Nabhijanati Mamebhya Paramabhyayam. Excellent verse. Actually, let's see. I'll skip this. Okay, let me go to the verse first. So Tribhir Gunamair Bhavir Evi Sarvam Idam Jagat Mohitam Nabhijanati Mamebhya Paramabhyayam. What is happening in this verse is Krishna is telling there is Tribhir Gunamair Bhavir. Remember yesterday Panduranga Prabhu was also talking about the state of being, right? And the word was there used also as bhava. Ye chaiva sattvika bhava rajasas tamasas chaye Matta eveti tan vidhi natva aham teshu temai. So that word bhava gets carried forward in this verse also, and it is there, tribhir gunamair bhaver, state of being. It's a very important word. Actually, Krishna gives so much of light in Bhagavad Gita to understand our own life, to understand our bewildered state of existence, and to understand how we can come out of it. First of all, the state of delusion is so strong that we don't feel that we are even in bewildered state. We don't feel that there is a need to come out. Why? Because there is a state of being where we are feeling this is how life should be lived. Tribhir gunamair bhaver. There is a state of being which is telling me this is most people in my life, in my age, they are doing this thing. Let me also do. Tribhir gunamair bhaver. Ebhi sarvam idam jagad. It's not only you. Ebhi sarvam idam jagad. The whole world is bewildered by this. The word used is mohitam. Mohitam is deluded. Very powerful word. And Prabhupada uses in the purport the first line as the whole world is enchanted by the three modes of material nature. We will see this. We will understand this more deeply. So, but remember this word used by Krishna, mohitam. So when somebody is bewildered, when somebody is in a delusion, state of delusion is somebody who's, are you alcoholic by any chance? Anytime? Little bit? No, never? Not touched? Okay. Okay. So in case you would have had, there is a state of delusion which comes, where you are not absolutely sure of what's going on. Not that you've completely forgotten, but there is a state of delusion where there is partial forgetfulness of your nature, and there is a false confidence or a false kind of power which comes in your mind. I'm a very superior person, or I'm just enjoying, I have got a lot of power, that kind of a thing. But without being alcoholic, without having tested, each one of us are like alcoholic, because tribhir gunamair bhaver. There is this modes of material nature which is acting, which makes us feel as if I'm in control of this whole world. I'm meant to enjoy this place. I will work hard. All this working hard is meant for earning money. What will I do with that money? I will use it for my sense gratification. What will happen if I, indulge in sense gratification? I will be happy. Tribhir gunamair bhaver evhi sarvam idam jagat mohitam na abhijanati. And when people are so bewildered in this, Krishna is telling, tat shrunu. He is revealing about who he is. Mattah parataram nanyat kinchid asti dhananjaya. There is no truth which is superior to me. Mai protam idam sarvam sutre maniganaiva. Like that thread which is holding these pearls together, without that thread there is no existence of the necklace. But we are not able to see. We will not be able to see as long as we are bewildered by these three modes of nature. Tribhir gunamair bhaver ebhi sarvam idam jagat mohitam. When we are in the state of enchantment and bewilderment, and when we are deluded, na bhijanati, we will not know. Mamebhya paramabhyayam, my nature, which is above the modes of material nature, and it is inexhaustible. Abhyayam. These words are very powerful. Mamebhya paramabhyayam. Now let's go a little deeper. So why people do not know and realize Krishna as the essence of all, if he is everywhere? Because he is saying, I am Rasoham Apsukonte, you are drinking water, the taste of water is me. Prabhasmi Sasi Suraya, you are seeing that sun and moon are shining, the brightness of that sun and moon is me. Prabhasmi Sasi Suraya, then Sabdake Parusham Rishu. Pranava Sarva Vedeshu, you are chanting Vedic mantras, that Om that you start with, any mantra that you chant, that Om is me. Pranava Sarva Vedeshu, Sabdakhe Paurusham Rishu, the sound that is produced, which is getting transmitted in ether, that is me. So Krishna is all pervading everywhere. Why people do not realize him? Very beautifully, this is the translation if you break it down, because people are bewildered by three modes. Because they are bewildered by three modes, and on the contrary, they think Krishna is also under modes like me. Mamebhya paramabhyayam, that Krishna is above the modes, people don't think that. They also think Krishna is also under the modes of material nature like me. And real position of Krishna above modes and inexhaustible is not understood by Krishna, is not understood by ordinary people. Let's give some example and understand this a little deeper. What do you see here? Sunrise. Usually in New York Times you will get this illusion picture. Find the cat which is hiding in this. You have 20 seconds. If you can do it, do you read New York Times? Usually New York Times on Mondays have, so there are two things which are occupying people these days in the modern world. One is called Waddle, the game, where those 5 words that you have you played Waddle? It's a very, very addictive game. And the other one is the puzzle, the photo, what do you call this? The illusion created in a photograph. So you have to look the photograph and see there is a cat which is hiding somewhere, or there is something which is happening which you don't see often. So can you see something like that? I'm not asking to find out. There is no puzzle in this. What do you see in this? Clouds. Okay. Clouds covering the sun. Okay. Any other different answer? If you can see something very philosophical which we are not able to see. Yeah, you force people, then it will go further. But as I said, there is no indirect, vague, or something else that you have to think. It's a very simple thing. It's a common phenomenon which we would have seen, experienced when you are standing here and looking at the sky. Sometimes you find that the sun is covered by cloud. So what happens is, we feel if it is fully covered, it is half covered now. If it is fully covered, then we may feel, okay, probably there is no sun. It can appear to us. But is it really possible that the clouds can cover the sun? The size of the sun is huge, right? I don't know, whatever scientific, you can find out, Google search and all. And clouds are only very small, this thing. What it does is, it blinds the vision of ours. The sun is always present in the sky, but our vision of the sun gets blocked or blurred by the presence of cloud. To the degree the cloud is covering, to the degree our vision is blocked, that much we are ignorant of the presence of sun in the sky. Similarly, the Lord, mohitam nabhijanati mamebhya paramabhyayam. Foolish people, they say that there is no God. What is the need of God? Where is the God? Show me God. If you show me God, then only I'll believe. All these kind of foolish questions people ask. And some of us who are very neophyte, our faith are very tender and very fragile, we also get carried away. Probably, yes, there is no God. Maybe this world is just created by chance. Some big bang happened somewhere and something happened, and now this creation is going on. I'm fortunate to be here. The scientists are saving my life. They're telling us the truth. We also believe in this, but it's actually a state of bewilderment. We will see how it is a state of bewilderment. Okay, now what do you see here? Pepper pin, okay. Huh? Horseshoe magnet, okay. Have you used any, in your school days, have you done any experiment with this horseshoe magnet? Yes, that's all it is. There is no other this thing. So basically, if it is magnet which is used to, magnet has this property to attract iron, and once iron is touched to the magnet, it acts like magnet. Another iron, if another pin, if you bring it closer to this, that also gets pulled, and it gets pulled like this. You can see on either side. Now, very interestingly, all of us also have got that God-like property. We are spirit soul. We are meant to get attracted to Krishna. But unfortunately, if you take away these pins from the magnet and allow it to stay somewhere outside, then there will be a deposition of rust which is produced because of air and water, and then after that, no matter how close you bring it to the magnet, the same iron, the same pin is not getting attracted. This is what is the state. Tribhir gunamair bhaver evhi sarvam idam jagat mohitam nabhijanati mamebhya paramabhyayam. Actually, our state is so unfortunate. I mean, think of in your life whatever the most unfortunate thing that you can think of. Think. Somebody's parents died, very young age, no shelter. Somebody, some house got burned, collapsed, something happened, robbery, theft, whatever you can think of. Even worse than that is our state. That experience, I want you to experience that pain in your life that you lost something. That is something that was very dear to you was taken away from you. It was a coveted thing, you were working hard, you were close to it, and somebody, by magic he took away that thing from you. And how bad you feel. Actually, worse than that is our state, because we don't realize how deplorable, what kind of a state we are in. And we are madly engrossed in this material world with great confidence. This is how life should be lived. This is what it is. Okay, people, they are so engrossed, they will be working hard for 5 days, but the moment Saturday or Sunday comes, how relieved they are. Not even Saturday, you don't have to worry about, wait till Saturday. Even Friday till noon. I mean, most people here in the America, right? As soon as it is Friday noon, it's all over. Thank God it's Friday, we'll go, we'll have party. Why do they like so much partying? If work is so much important to them, well, they just work so that they can earn money, and when they earn money, the goal of life is I should enjoy. And the enjoyment, the definition of enjoyment is how I can buy things which will gratify my senses. I will watch some movie, I'll go to some pub, I'll go and do this, and then there'll be hangover, and I'll be lying, there'll be all kinds of things, and Monday morning I have to again go and work hard because I have to look forward to that Saturday where I can get some motivation, so that if I continue 5 days of work, hard work, I'll get that money, and that will help me, that will enable me to engage in sense gratification. This is how life goes on. Tribhir gunamair bhaver evhi sarvam idam jagat. Actually, we talk about karmis, and we sometimes say that they are engrossed in this material life. Forget about karmis. Even our devotees who have taken up to this process of devotion, they are chanting 16 rounds. Even we are also in this deep illusion, deep state of forgetfulness of Krishna all the time, always. It's a very scary state of affairs. Actually, the reason why Prabhupada speaks about this verse and the next verse so many times at so many places, because we sometimes do not, or we sometimes underestimate the energy, the power of Maya. How many people in this world do you think are unaware or ignorant of Maya? How many people do you think? How many people would be not knowing about Maya? You didn't know about Maya before coming? Never knew, never heard of Maya? Tell the truth. What is the definition of Maya that you knew? So you have heard Moh Maya, right? We all know. It's not that we didn't know. Sometimes, we hear like some people say, Prabhuji, aap to nikal gaye. आप तो निकल गए, हम तो अभी मोह माया में हैं, हम कैसे करेंगे ये? हाउ कैन वी डू इट, राइट? आप करते रहिए, अगर हो सके तो हमारे लिए भी थोड़ा चैंट कर दीजिए. मीन्स आई डोंट वांट टू कम आउट ऑफ इट बिकॉज आई एम सो एनग्रॉस्ड इन दिस. I don't know if there is a life beyond this. I've never understood or I've never experienced. I am madly engrossed. Every stage of life, I've seen this, I realize this so much. Every state in my own life, before coming to Krishna consciousness, I was also madly engrossed. You're a child, you are told from all corners, you should work hard, you should study hard, you should get good degrees, good marks, then only you'll become an engineer. Unless you become an engineer, who will take care? Who will ask you, what is your value in this society? Yes, I have to study hard, do this thing, I have to write an engineering exam, get into some engineering college. You feel as if life is made. Oh, it's a big sigh of relief. No. It's just you've joined engineering. You have to do well. Again, you have to work hard. You have to get good marks, good degrees, prove yourself right. Present papers, do some things, so that only people will, some good companies will attract you. Otherwise, who's going to take you? So you work hard, and then you get into a job. You get into a job, then you feel, okay, my life is secure. I have joined the best MNCs, paying the highest, that is known for the best employee policy. Everything is good, nice, and I'm doing this. But you realize you're just starting your career. There are far more people ahead of you, and you have to again run towards this. And in the midst of all these things, when this is when a promotion is not happening, you're working hard, you're putting your best efforts, you're looking for alternatives. Somebody comes and says, why don't you get married? That's the best thing to do in life. You have not done this, so you get married. And then once you get married, then life is again going on. You realize actually whatever the material world is illusion. After marriage, one certainly realizes this is really illusion. There is no happiness here. But if that is not enough, some people again are there around you. You are married for so long. What about children? You should have children. Okay, children. Now I have children. Children have come. Wife is there. Husband is there. Life is there. Office is there. Work is going on. I need to have a house. Without a house, how will I live? So I have a house, I have money, I have everything, I have car, I have a TV with surround sound. Then I'll call people, see, I have a nice TV, this thing, this kind of all this, wall you can see it is specially done. We'll enjoy one night, 2 night, and then like that life goes on. You feel everything is all right, but your children is not studying now. You have to send them to good schools. You have to make them, learn this thing. Somehow you have to, make them stand on these things. Then they grow up. Then you have to take care of their education. You have to get them married. After all, you are the parents. You have to take care of this, and life like that goes on. It comes to an end. Tata, bye bye. What did you do? I was busy. No, I was taking care of everything in my life. I was asked to take care of my parents. I was asked to take care of my children. I was asked to take care of my wife. They were all dependents. They were not working. Or they were, being the sole breadwinner. I have to take care of this. I had a house and I had to pay the mortgage. I had all these things and I'm going on in this kind of thing. Unfortunately, what it does is, it allows us to again go through this cycle of birth and death, again take this body, which is an embarrassment. That is why, in Bhagavatam, there is a verse which comes, we will spend little time on discussing and understanding that verse, which is spoken by Rishabhadev. He says, Parabhavas tabad abodhajata. Parabhavas, it's all defeated. When somebody works like this, being engrossed by this material modes of nature, by this trivhir gunamayir bhavir, mohitam, bewildered state, he's working hard and busy in his life, ultimately he gets defeated. Very powerful verse, very hard hitting. These verses of Bhagavatam, especially those ones which are spoken by Rishabhadev, which are often quoted by Srila Prabhupada, carry the essence of Bhagavatam. They have the essence. What is this human life meant for? How rare this human form of life, and how foolish we are that, having understood this, we are yet not able to do it. Let us see some more. I want to tell you a story, even further, even moving before even going further. Basically, I'm from Jagannath Puri, right? I've lived there for some time. So if you go to Jagannath Puri, there are many legends of Jagannath Puri. You hear about so many wonderful pastimes. There is one devotee by name Bhakta Salabeg. He's a Muslim. He was born in a Muslim family, but a big devotee of Jagannath. So like that, there are so many such. There is Dasya Bauri. There is one devotee who was very poor and he was offering something in his mind and the Lord used to accept. Like that, there are so many such stories. There is one story which you should know if you happen to go to Jagannath Puri or you ever visit that place. There's a story of one Brahmana. I don't remember what is his name, one of those names. You have to find out. I can find out, but I don't have that in top of my mind. This Brahmana, there are many different ponds in Jagannath Puri which are considered to be very sacred. There is one Narendra Sarovar. There is one Markandeshwara Sarovar. You've been, Badri? Which one you went to? Indradimna? So there are many such wonderful ponds which are there where the Lord also comes sometimes and he does some pastimes. There is one such pond called Markandeshwara Sarovar or Markandeshwar pond. So there was this Brahmana devotee of Jagannath who used to go to Jagannath temple every day, and he used to chant the entire 700 verses of Bhagavad Gita every single day without fail. How many of you have chanted every 700 verse of all 700 verses of Bhagavad Gita? You chanted, no? You came for Gita Jayanti. Gita Jayanti you came, no? We chanted. That day you were not. Achha, okay. We all have chanted, at least, sometimes. But this person used to chant every single day. Now when he was chanting this verse, Trivhir gunamair bhaver ebhi sarvam idam jagad mohitam nabhijanati mamebhya paramavyayam. And then the next one, as I said, HP 34 MB, 3 stands for 3 modes of material nature. The next one he's telling, Daivihi esha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya mameva ye prapadyante mayam etam tarantite. These two verses have a very powerful meaning, or a very powerful thing that we should always remember, that the Maya or the external energy of the Lord is Duratyaya, extremely difficult to overcome. Whenever Prabhupada talks about Krishna consciousness, at many places he is told we have to be conscious of Krishna and alert of Maya. Even if you are chanting for X number of years, X is equal to 100, close to, a limit extends to 100, still you can't be sure that you are always fixed. There is a firm footing of Krishna consciousness, it will protect you. Why? The reason being, imagine if this house, okay, one day you decided that you will go for a vacation, and you ensured that you closed the whole house and you cleaned it, everything spick and span, all place you cleaned, everything is done, and all the doors, windows, everything is airtight closed. You go and come back after a month. What do you think will be there in the house? Dust. Where does the dust come from? If the dust is fully cleaned and you have closed all the windows and the doors, then where does the dust come from? It's there inside. It's there in the air. It goes up, again it comes down. Similarly, actually the reason any one of us who has accepted this material body, the desire to enjoy sense gratification is very deep rooted. Very, very deep. It doesn't go. The reason I am asking this question, how many of you knew about Maya? Everybody knows what Maya is. Everybody knows what is the influence of Maya, Moha Maya that they say, but still we are into this. To do the right thing is not easy. Very difficult. So that the tendency to commit sin or to be independent of Krishna is so strong within, unless somebody is surrendered to a spiritual master who is a pure devotee and follows his instruction, this material mind intelligence will not help. Very actively, spirit means it is active. Actively engaged in devotional service, surrendering one's false mind, false ego, mind intelligence to the spiritual master, then only there is a hope. Otherwise, not possible. That is why Daivi Hesha, it is actually always, it's important to remember, we are fighting a war against Maya, which is the energy of the Lord, which is eternal. Prakriti, there are 5 truths, out of which Jiva, Ishvara, Prakriti, Kala, Karma, first 4 are eternal. Prakriti is eternal. This illusion is eternal. This is not only in this life that you have got this desire of sense gratification before you came in touch with Krishna consciousness. No, it is there from many, many lifetimes, very deep rooted. That is why association of devotees is very important, where you come and that rust which is getting deposited, you have to remove this. You have to beg for the mercy from a spiritual master, so that his mercy is our only hope to stay afloat in this material ocean. Otherwise there is no hope. So this devotee who was going to Jagannath Puri and reading Bhagavad Gita every day, when he was reading this verse, these 2 words, he thought, how is it, Krishna, Maya is Duratyaya mentioned in Bhagavad Gita? How can it be insurmountable? There must be something. After all, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I am worshipping Krishna. I am surrendering to Krishna. Why Maya can be insurmountable? This kind of a doubt he had. Just a doubt. Can Maya be so strong? I am chanting for 10 next number of years. Next day morning, he went to take bath in Markandeshwar river, in that pond. He took a dip. Usually how, if you have seen the Vaishnavas, how they take dip, they'll close their eyes, something and all, and they'll just take dip like this. And he got up. He saw he is in Manikarnika Ghat in Kasi. And he has completely forgotten that, He was a Brahmana from Puri. He was married. He had 3 children. Everything he has forgotten. So he got up. He was a very young man, 28, 29 years of old age. So he got up and then he looked up and he's forgetful of his memory. He doesn't remember anything. So one older Brahmana saw him and he saw this person looks like a new person here. He goes and he asks him, "Who are you?" And he was having a sacred thread. He was looking like a Brahmana. He remembers everything else except for the fact that he was a Brahmana from Puri. And he is married. He has got 3 children. Now here all his wife and children, they're crying. They're saying, "Arey, kya hua? Chale gaye, ye hua, wo." They're all bewildered. Now this person takes him to his house. He had a daughter and he gets him married to this guy. In 3-4 years, he has got another few children there in Kasi. Then one day, this is actually, this is Jagannath Puri, they say. So then one day what happened, he was taking bath in Kasi Vishwanath. So he like that, he closed his eyes, this thing, played with senses, got down in the river in Kasi, and he opened his eyes, he's in Markandeshwar pond in Puri. And then he comes back and he realizes everything. He remembers, okay, I am only here only. I probably took bath. He got up, he went to his house. Everybody was very happy. Arey, our husband has come back. Children, papa, and all they're doing and they're happy with that. So he's busy in that life. He forgot about that Kasi life. Few months have passed, 2-3 months. And then that older Brahmana who was in Kasi, he was visiting Jagannath Puri. So he visited Jagannath Puri with his daughter and grandsons. Everybody, they have come to Puri and they were going to Jagannath Puri, Jagannath temple. All of a sudden they saw that Brahmana. "Hey, my son-in-law here. What's happening?" He called him and he said, "Arey, you are my son-in-law. How did you abandon us? What are you doing here?" He's saying, "My son-in-law, who am I? I don't know. Who are you? I've never met you. I think there is some mistake." So he went away. Then this Brahmana made a big scene. "Arey, this fellow is, he's taken advantage. He got married to my daughter, has 3 children. Now he's saying, I don't know." So he called all the Brahmanas there in Puri. So everybody assembled there. And he said, "See, I have a plea that this person is my son-in-law. He was married to my daughter, and now he's disowning them. You can ask my daughter and son-in-law. They are papa, husband, they're doing." So then other Brahmanas are laughing. He said, "Arey, why these people are not understanding? I am truthful, I am saying the honest thing. Why they are laughing?" Said, "You don't know. We know this fellow from childhood. This guy is from Puri. He is married. This is his wife. These are his children. He cannot go to Kasi Vishwanath." This is a whole state of confusion. What is going on? So then they asked that Brahmana, "You tell Baba, what is the truth? What is the truth? Tell us truthfully." He closed his eyes and prayed to Jagannath. Said, "Jagannath, I only want to serve you. In my life, I only prayed to, serve you. Why this kind of bewilderment in my life? I have been reading Bhagavad Gita. What is this?" Then Jagannath revealed him. "Tribhir gunamair bhaver, evhi sarvam idam jagat, mohitam nabhijanati mamebhya paramabhyam." Maya, the external energy of the Lord, is extremely difficult to overcome. Extremely difficult. Many lifetimes have passed in this kind of bewilderment, where we are forgetful of our relationship with Krishna. What is the meaning of the word Maya? What does the word Maya mean? They say that which is not, but it's actually any activity that we do which makes us forget about Krishna, where we are not thinking of serving Krishna. That is Maya. It's a wonderful opportunity which is given to us to render devotional service to the Lord. But how Maya works on us, it makes us feel proud. Why? Why did he tell it to me? He doesn't know who I am, how powerful person I am. I'll do what I feel like. Do you tell whatever? These are all Maya's work on us, Maya's influence. The only way actually we can overcome this Maya is if we surrender to a pure devotee spiritual master. Krishna's energy, Krishna, Daivi Esha Gunamai Mavamaya Duratyaya, Mahameva Ye Prapadyante Maya Metam Tarantite. The only way we can overcome Maya is by following the instruction of spiritual master, because the mercy of Krishna flows through his pure devotee. When we take shelter of a pure devotee and when we follow his instructions very strictly, we are free from Maya. Otherwise it is impossible. Let us see this verse from Bhagavatam, which is spoken by what is his name? Our Rishabhadev. Parabhavastavad abodhajat. Okay, it's not coming. It's a very powerful verse. We should remember this verse. Parabhavastavad abodhajato yavanna jigyasata atmatattvam yavat kriyastavad idam manovai karmatmakam yena sarira bandha. Sanskrit, there's a very beautiful language where you find this kind of expression, tabat, yavat. And this verse is a unique verse in Bhagavatam where this word yavat and tavat is used twice. Parabhavastavat yabodha jato yavanna jigyasata atmatattvam. You may say, I'm busy, Prabhu, I took care of all my responsibilities. Every single responsibility that you can think of, account for, list down, I have taken care of it. But Bhagavatam is telling parabhavas. This is, it's actually defeated. The moment you try to do all these things, this responsibility, that responsibility, everything is defeated if parabhavas tavad abodha jata yavanna jigyasata atmatattvam. If you didn't inquire about atmatattvam, if you didn't inquire about the truth of your own self, parabhavas tavad abodha jata, it is all defeated. You did all these things, I built house, I bought this, I did, everything is over. Because I didn't inquire about yavanna jigyasata atmatattvam. Why it is defeated? Yavat kriyastavad idam manovai karmatmakam yena sarira bandha. It's a very powerful verse. This verse of Bhagavatam, we should repeatedly hear, repeatedly see. So when we are under this influence of modes of material nature, when this Trivhir Gunamair Bhavir, when it is acting on us, it is not that, we have to make fun of this. Actually, it is our own state of affairs. It is karmatmakam. We feel I should work hard in this way, in that way. I should adjust in this way. I should do that. I should achieve this. Little more extra. If I can get, I'll be happy. Why all this is happening? Yavat kriyas tavad idam manovai. Actually, our mind is colored. This influence of the modes of material nature colors our mind. And the mind, when it is colored, it inspires us. Okay, let us work hard. Let us do this together. I'm an American. I'm an Indian. I'm a North Indian. I'm a South Indian. I'm a North Indian belonging to this community, Sarma community. I'm belonging to Rathore community. I'm belonging to Bengali community, Odia community. Let us do together. Let us achieve it. Let us achieve. So this is, the mind is colored with all this vision. And there is karmatmakam. Unfortunately, what we are not realizing is when the mind is colored with all these kind of things which is inspiring us to work hard, sarira bandha. Yavat kriyas tavad idam manobhai karmatmakam yena sarira bandha. We will not be freed from this body, sarira bandha. Actually, if you look at our body, every single part, whatever this head, inside this mind, ear, nose, eyes, everything is matter. Just the presence of spirit soul, which is tiny, which we can't see, which is there inside our body, makes this body animated. We are able to do everything. Moment the soul, spirit soul leaves this body, this is gone, this is over, this is dead matter which lies here. Yavat kriyas tavad idam manobhai karmatmakam yena sarira bandha. So we get again bound to this material body. We again go through this cycle of birth and death. Very painful, birth, death, old age and disease. Again we suffer from these three folds of material miseries. Adhyatmika, Adi Daivik and Adi Bhautik. Again we go through this Pavarga, Parishrama, Phana, Phena, Phala, what is that? Vyartha, Bhaya and Mrityu. This thing comes. So if you want to get rid of it, take shelter of Krishna. And how do you take shelter of Krishna? In this life, if we have done any good thing, if we have done, then we should always remember that we came in touch with a pure devotee spiritual master. There are a few verses in Bhagavatam which we, if you remember, then the discussion about today's verse will be complete. One verse, again with the same similar Yavat Tavat, is there in the prayers of Prahlad Maharaj. Anybody knows which verse is that? Prahlad Maharaj prayers. Who tells that will get extra prasadam. I'm also not able to remember the words. I'm taking little time. Huh? Which one? No. You know Matirna Krishna Parato Svatova? Then after that the verse comes. Naisham Matistavat. Naisham Matistavat Uru Kramangrhim. Sprashati Anartha Upagamo Yadarthaha Mahiyasam Pado Rajobhisekam Niskinchananam Navrinita Yavat. Actually, if you want to stay in Krishna consciousness, if you want to understand this complicated state of existence and want to come out of it, the only way is Naisham Matistavat Uru Kramangrhim. The moment we think about material life, there is a vacation. Would you want to join us? There's a party we are planning. We'll have some nice booze and some music and dance. Some young people like you who will be there, and we'll plan it out, right? So how excited we feel. But how excited you feel when somebody is asking, come for the Bhagavad Gita class at 226R Grafton Street, right? This is how it is. Why? We cannot be Krishna conscious on our own. It is impossible. It is written, it is given. The reason we are here in this material world, Ichha Dvesha Samutena. We are envious of Krishna and we want to enjoy independent of Krishna. That is why we are here. You want to get rid of that. You want to you have understood that this is the problem of material world. Many people understand. When somebody near and dear, they pass away, they die, then I realize that, this material world, everything is false. It's just not worth it. But again, immediately after that, we come back home, everything we see our near and dear ones, some TV, nice serial, Kaun Banega Karorpati, everything is over. Right? This is what Maya is. Then how do we come out of it? Naisam Matistavat Uru Kramangrhim Sparshati Anartha Upagamam Yadartha Mahiyasam Pado Rajobhishekam Niskinchananam Nabranita Yavat. Unless we do Abhishekam, unless we actually go and take the dust of a pure devotee of spiritual master and surrender ourselves to him, Naisa Matis, our Mati, our consciousness, Krishna, Prabhupada uses this word Krishna consciousness. It comes directly from Srimad Bhagavatam. Matirna Krishna Parata Swatoba. That same Krishna consciousness means Krishna Mati will only come if there is a mercy of a spiritual master. If we are in association of devotees and we come and we think, how can I please these Vaishnavas? Pleasing Vaishnavas, sometimes people think that sometimes some festival, something happens, some function in somebody's house, they feed some sadhus, right? So khila do bas theek ho jayega, lagta hai mil jayega mercy. It's not like that. Actually, when somebody follows the instructions of Shastra, somebody follows the instructions of Guru, that is when he makes change. He becomes spiritual. He understands and he can apply this knowledge. Otherwise, it is impossible. That is why life after life we should pray. Somehow I should be in association of devotees. I should take this vow that whatever the instructions my spiritual master has given, I should follow it till the last breath of my life. Otherwise, I don't have any hope. I'll close with one verse from Bhagavatam. It's in the first canto, first chapter, 22nd verse probably. And that will be the last verse for today's discussion. Yeah. So this verse says, Tvam na sandarshito dhatra dustaram nistitir shatam kalim sattva haram pumsam karnadhara ivarnabam. This is, the sages of Naimisharanya, when they were about to, ask these questions to Sutta Goswami, the 6 questions they've asked. But in between the 6 questions, they have talked about some important principles. And one of those things that they have mentioned is Tvam na sandarshito dhatra dustaram nistitir shatam. Actually, this material world is insurmountable. This is mama maya duratyaya. This illusion is deep-rooted. It is lifetimes of accumulation. This is because of ignorance, abodha jata. And I am busy in this life, working hard and failing again. Even though I know the truth, I am not able to do because I lack that spiritual strength. I don't have that bala. I don't have that conviction. I know that this is the right thing to do, but there are, this three modes of material nature which are acting so much on me that I'm not able to do. So these people are telling, Tvamna sandarshito dhatra dustaram nistitir shatam. Dustaram is insurmountable and nistitir shatam. Very difficult to cross over this is. And we are desiring to cross over, but this is dustaram. It is very insurmountable. But fortunately, Tvamna sandarshito dhatra, we have come in touch with a pure devotee spiritual master. Without meeting a spiritual master, pure devotee, he is not some ordinary person. Even the previous verse, Mahiyasam Pado Rajau Bhisekam, there also he says, it must be a pure devotee. When we come in touch with a pure devotee and we follow his instruction, Tvamna sandarshito dhatra dustaram nistitir shatam kalim sattvaharam, even though Kali Yuga is acting on us and taking our sattva guna, it is degrading, it is taking away, it is forcing us to be in the modes of passion and ignorance. Kalim sattvaharam pumsam karnadhara ivarnamam. If we have a boat in which the pure devotee spiritual master is there as a captain, I can cross over this. Otherwise it is insurmountable. We will see this verse. Actually, these two verses are one of my favorite verses of Bhagavad Gita. I love these verses because these are our own life. Even though we do a little bit of spiritual life, practice a little bit of spirituality, we feel we are very confident, we are very superior. Karmina, you're working outside. You don't know about Krishna consciousness, right? How long you've been working and doing all this kind of, we can get a feeling of that kind of a complacency and superiority complex. But actually we are nothing. Deep within we should remember any moment we can fall down, any single moment. If it is only the mercy of Vaishnavas, it is only the mercy of spiritual master, pure devotee spiritual master, that we can stay afloat. So we should always remember this. We should always be alert of Krishna, and we should always pray to Krishna that he gives us this blessing that we are always in association of devotees and following the instruction of spiritual master. I'll stop here and see if you have any questions or comments. Ask. Shrey.
Prabhu, sometimes it's said that if you don't work hard, you'll be left behind in the world because of the nature how the world is. On the one side. On the other side, the more you work hard, the more entangled you get. So how we should be looking at these two things?
Yeah. So the basic thing that we should remember is, if we don't inquire about ourself, I want to work hard, but who's that I? I want to work hard because I'll be left behind. Who's that I? The conception of I that I have in my mind is illusioned. Because I'm thinking I'm this body, I'm a software engineer, I'm a male, I'm this thing, and I must prove myself. That illusion is so strong that it is instigating, it's provoking me to work hard. But actually I'm a spirit soul. I'm trapped in this body, in this life. And this human form of life is very rare. Jalaja, Navalakshani, look around you, how many species of life? In that you've got this rare human form of life. And rarer than even that is, you have come in touch with a pure devotee spiritual master. Nobody is saying don't go after that. Not like, you should become completely renunciant. You can't be. But what is the priority in life? Priority in life is I should be Krishna conscious at any cost. How easy it is to become averse to Krishna. Very easy. All of us are in this material world. And we embrace the suffering in the name of, I have to prove no. Are log aage ja rahe, main kya pada rahunga kya yahan pe? I also have to work hard. In that name, I am embracing so many miseries. Not just that, this continuation of this illusion is forcing us to accept new bodies. Sarira bandha. Lifetime after lifetime. Again, punarapi janani, punarapi janama, punarapi janani, jathare sayanam. You are entering into the womb of mother, again you are dying. Again you are coming, and again you are entering. This is a golden opportunity. I have to pray to Krishna, I have to pray to Prabhupada, I have somehow keep me Krishna conscious. No matter what it is, whatever the material circumstances are. Maybe I learn little less, I learn little more, doesn't matter. You go, you give your best shot. Nobody is saying don't do that. But that you have to be free from, the definition of bhakti which Rupa Goswami is giving is Jnana Karma Adi Anavratam. What is the first line? Anyabhilasita Sunyam Jnana Karma. It has to be free from the tinge of karma. People in material world, they talk about Bhagavad Gita 2.47. What is that? Karmanye vadhikara aste. Karma eva adhikara aste. I have the right to do the work. Ma phaleshu kadachana. Actually, about the phala, Krishna doesn't say very clearly at the beginning. He has built it up. What about the phala? You should not be attached to the result. You do your duty, be unattached. Not easy to do that actually in material world. When you are looking for achieving something, you want to be successful, no? How will you say, I'll just do my work hard, but I don't know, it doesn't matter if I get it, I don't get it, I don't get it. You can't be like that. But that is built up towards little further, where Krishna says, Yagyarthat karmano anyatra lokoyam karma bandhana. He builds that. He doesn't say that. But people always talk about that because they don't know about the phala. It suits their mentality, they talk about this. But the real definition of bhakti is free from the tents of jnana and karma. That this fruitive activity that, I'm meant to enjoy the fruits of my hard work has to be given up. Then only you can do pure bhakti, and that pure bhakti will purify our existence, will free us from this illusion, will free us from this bondage of material world. Otherwise, this is extremely difficult. That is why this Guru Sadhu, why it is so much stressed. I should have faith in the words of my spiritual master. I should know that he is coming in a parampara starting from Krishna. It is not some ordinary person. He has given these instructions. He knows my position. He knows how vulnerable I am, how weak I am within. Only when I follow his instructions, if I'm sent person doing that, I have a hope. I can remain Krishna conscious in this material world. Otherwise, it is extremely bewildering. Duratyaya. Does this help?
As you were mentioning during the explanation that once we pass out from the college, we start working, then we need to earn more, then we have the responsibility and everything. So one way, if you take the responsibility and you're working, it's hard for you to give your 100% in the spiritual life.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, if you're not doing that, then it'll be like, okay, basically people will say, okay, you are useless, basically you're not doing anything. So how to balance those two?
In the similar line, okay, so actually Prabhupada and our scriptures have explained this very nicely. Very, very nicely. You don't have to worry and struggle. कैसे balance करूँ? कुछ है क्या? technique कुछ है तो बता दो, मैं भी सीख लूँ. So actually there is a Goswami by name Raghunath Das Goswami who was trying to renounce this material world, thinking like what you are thinking. And when he went to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu rejected him, sent him back. He said, be a pound and shilling man. Go back and continue your material duties. At a right time, when that renunciation has matured, you join me. What he meant to, and he gave an example of a paramour. You know what is a paramour? So let's say a wife who is having an affair with someone other than her husband. So she does every household activity immacculately. Is it right? Immaculately, right? Perfectly, impeccably, perfectly, so that nobody doubts her. But her mind is absorbed on the thoughts of this. Similarly, when we are working in the material world, do your work properly. But your heart, your consciousness, your mind should be absorbed in Krishna. It is possible. You are doing this because you have to maintain your body and soul together. Without that, you can't do Krishna consciousness. But in your mind, in your heart, you should be absorbed in Krishna. You should be hankering and looking for how I will come and engage in devotional service. That should be my goal. That is the driving thing. Not that, oh, ये मंदिर ठीक है, कभी कभी जा सकते हैं उनके साथ, बाकी टाइम में मैं कैसे मटेरियल वर्ल्ड में घूम के ये ऐस करूँगा वो, then that you have lost the whole thing. There's another example which I heard said many times, in village some women, they go to take bath in a river. So when they are going, there is one woman who's going, and there's a small child. She's walking along with him, and then she's carrying another child in her hand. There are some clothes which are there on her shoulder which she wants to clean, and then there is a pot on her head where she wants to get some water, and she's talking to the other woman also who's walking next to her. There are vehicles which are coming, she's passing through, and everything is happening. She goes and takes bath, and the clothes are washed and it is put back on the shoulder. The pot is filled with water, and one child is still there in her hand, the other child is walking. They're coming back. When everything she's doing, where is her attention? I think you know this, I've asked many times. Where is her attention? Where is the attention of the lady? Everything she's doing simultaneously, but her attention is on the pot. It's a mud pot, and she wants to ensure that it doesn't fall, because if it falls, it will break. Like that, we can do all material things, material activities. We can do everything, whatever you want to do, you can do, but your consciousness should be absorbed in Krishna. The wealth of a devotee is not how big temple he has built, or in what nice place he is staying. It is how much absorption he has of Krishna. That is his wealth. That wealth nobody can take away from you. So even if you are outside, no matter in what condition, I'm a grihastha, I'm a married, unmarried, this thing, that thing, whatever state Krishna has kept you, you can be Krishna conscious. You can, if you are absorbed in Krishna. If you are serious about that, you can execute your material duties, but you are driven by this one thing, spiritual goal. Is that help? Anybody, any question online? If no question, we will stop here, and we will see this wonderful verse, wonderful chapter of Bhagavad Gita, knowledge of the Absolute, and how important it is for us to realize the insurmountable power of Maya. I'll stop here, and we will meet next week. Granthra Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki